Think about it like this. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. When you get up early and move your body, you're casting a vote for your health. When you say no to distractions and focus on your work, you're voting for your productivity. When you set boundaries, protect your energy, and make time for growth, you're voting for your future. These votes might seem small in the moment, but over time they add up. They compound, and eventually they create massive results. But here's the hard truth. Most people don't stick around long enough to see those results. They quit when it gets hard. They stop when it gets uncomfortable. They let their emotions dictate their actions. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. If you only take action when you feel motivated, you're going to live a very inconsistent life. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation disappears. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. You need to become the kind of person who follows through, who shows up for themselves, who doesn't negotiate with excuses. That means making decisions based on who you want to be, not who you feel like being in the moment. That means doing the hard thing now so you can enjoy the reward later. That means delaying gratification and trusting the process, even when it feels slow. Success also requires clarity. You can't just want more and hope it magically shows up. You need to know what you want and why you want it. That clarity fuels your discipline. When your vision is strong, it pulls you forward. So ask yourself, what are you working toward? What does success look like for you? And are your daily actions aligned with that vision? And let's not forget the importance of environment. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if your environment doesn't support your goals, you're going to struggle. Your habits are shaped by your surroundings. So if your space is chaotic, your schedule is packed with distractions, or you're surrounded by people who don't support your growth, it's going to be 10 times harder to stay disciplined. Set yourself up to win. Create a space that encourages focus. Put systems in place to keep you accountable. Choose relationships that challenge you to rise. You also need to embrace the mindset that progress is more important than perfection. You're not always going to get it right. You'll have off days. You'll make mistakes. That's normal. That's human. What matters most is that you don't let those moments become permanent detours. One bad day doesn't define you. One slip doesn't cancel your progress. What defines you is your ability to reset, refocus, and keep going. At the end of the day, the people who win in life are not the most talented, they're the most consistent. They've mastered the art of doing what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. They've built the foundation of habits that support their goals. They've learned to trust the process, and most importantly, they've decided that their dreams are worth the effort. So if you want success, start today. Start small. Pick one habit and commit to it, then build from there. Show up for yourself every day, not perfectly, but consistently. Because the truth is, success isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. One decision, one habit, one step at a time. Let's talk about comparison, because it's one of the biggest traps we fall into, and most of the time we don't even realize we're doing it. You're scrolling through your feed, seeing someone else's highlight reel, and suddenly your life feels small. Your progress feels slow, your dreams feel far away, and you start wondering, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not there yet? That voice in your head gets louder, and before you know it, you're doubting your path, questioning your worth, and feeling like you're already behind. But let me tell you something. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, it steals your focus, and most dangerously, it steals your belief in yourself. The truth is, you're never going to feel good enough if you're constantly measuring your life against someone else's timeline. You're not meant to move at their pace. You're not meant to follow their blueprint. Your journey is yours for a reason. It's shaped by your experiences, your lessons, your challenges, and your growth. And the minute you stop honoring that, the minute you start thinking you should be somewhere else because someone else is doing it differently, is the minute you disconnect from your power. Here's the thing about success. It's not linear. It doesn't follow a straight line. And it definitely doesn't show up the same way for everyone. Some people find their purpose at 18, others at 48. Some build fast, others build slow. Some take the scenic route, some take the detour, and some fall down so many times before they finally get back up for good. None of that makes one path more valid than the other. What matters is that you're still in the game, that you're still choosing to grow, that you're still showing up for your life, even on the days when it feels hard. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're not comparing truth to truth. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their perfectly curated front cover. You're comparing your messy, real, raw journey to something that's been filtered, edited, and presented for applause. That's not a fair comparison. You have no idea what battles that person is fighting. You have no idea what they sacrificed to get there. And more importantly, you don't need to know, because their story has nothing to do with your potential. What you need to do is focus on your lane, your vision, your values, your growth, because that's where your power lives. Every time you turn your attention outward, watching what they're doing, worrying about how far ahead they are, you're pulling your energy away from where it needs to be. You. Your energy is precious. Your attention is a currency. Spend it wisely. Use it to heal. Use it to move forward. Don't waste it chasing someone else's shadow. You've got to trust your own timing. There's no rush. There's no clock counting down. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right on time for your life. Every step you're taking, even the ones that feel small or invisible, are preparing you for what's next. Every delay, every setback, every moment of frustration is sharpening you, teaching you, building something in you that you're going to need when the moment arrives. You are being equipped right now for what you asked for. So don't resent the process, respect it. Instead of comparing, get curious. Instead of asking, why not me? Ask, what can I learn here? What's my next best step? Flip the focus back to what you can control. Because you can't control someone else's journey, but you can control how you show up in yours. You can choose gratitude over envy. You can choose discipline over distraction. You can choose to keep moving even when no one's watching. At the end of the day, the only person you need to compete with is the version of you from yesterday. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you becoming more aligned, more honest, more empowered? That's the measure. That's the progress that matters. Everything else is noise. So stop scrolling, stop comparing, start building, start trusting, start owning your story without apology. Because your journey, it's not supposed to look like anyone else's. It's supposed to look like yours. And that's exactly what makes it powerful. When you start focusing on yourself, truly focusing, you begin to realize that most of the limits you thought existed were never real. They were built from other people's opinions, society's expectations, and the fears you picked up along the way. But once you turn your attention inward and commit to your own path, everything changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop explaining your choices. You stop living for approval. And in that space where it's just you and your truth, you discover something powerful. You are more capable, more resilient, and more worthy than you ever gave yourself credit for. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean being selfish. It means being self-aware. It means waking up to your own needs, desires, and goals. It means asking, what do I want? What matters to me? What am I willing to work for? Not because they expect it, but because it aligns with who I am. That kind of clarity builds confidence. Because when you're aligned with your values, you stop second guessing. You start moving with purpose. You stop reacting to noise and start responding with intention. Most people never do this. Most people are so wrapped up in trying to keep up, trying to impress, trying to be accepted, that they forget to even ask, who am I doing this for? They chase success because it looks good on paper. They follow trends because they don't want to stand out. They shrink their dreams to fit into someone else's comfort zone. But none of that feels fulfilling. It feels exhausting because no matter how much you do for others, if you're not honoring yourself in the process, you're going to burn out. You're going to feel empty. You're going to wake up one day and wonder why you don't recognize the life you're living. So what if you flip the script? What if you stopped trying to be everything for everyone else and started being something for you? That's where real peace comes from. That's where real power is built. It's in the quiet moments where you choose yourself, where you say no to what drains you and yes to what grows you, where you stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. It's in those moments that you begin to own your life instead of performing it. When you do things for yourself, not to prove, not to impress, but because they genuinely matter to you, you begin to feel free. You stop living in fear of judgment. You stop being controlled by comparison. You stop needing validation because you've already given it to yourself. That internal approval, it's unshakable, and no one can take it from you. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Choosing yourself often means going against the grain. It means setting boundaries people won't like. It means making decisions others won't understand. It means walking away from things that used to define you but no longer serve you. That's hard. But you know what's harder? Living your whole life in a box built by other people's opinions. That's the real sacrifice. That's the real pain. Betraying yourself to belong somewhere you were never meant to fit in. You don't need a million people clapping for you. You need you to believe in what you're doing. Because once you do, you become unstoppable. You stop hesitating, you start showing up differently, you move with conviction, you trust your voice, and that version of you, that version doesn't need to fake it. That version doesn't need to prove anything. That version is rooted, clear, focused. So yes, focus on yourself. Heal what needs to be healed. Learn what needs to be learned. Grow into who you're meant to be, not because anyone else asked you to, not because someone else is watching, but because you deserve it. You deserve a life that reflects your truth. You deserve to wake up and feel proud, not of who you're pretending to be, but of who you really are. This is your one life. Make it yours. Not theirs, not society's, yours. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the results of your choices. So make choices that reflect your dreams. Make choices that bring you peace. Make choices that build the future you want. Do it for you, not them, and don't apologize for it, ever.